we hear this all the time from our clients. They come to us and say something like this. We're a $500 million company and we want to be $1 billion company in 5 years or 2 years or 3 years, some variation of this. And clearly, when you see something like this, and what they often mean by this is they're going to have to grow outside their core. So there's a process that we've been putting in place that allows people and companies to achieve this objective in the most efficient manner, because you're trying to get there effectively and you want to reach it, right? So there's two key things. You got to get there and you want to get there efficiently. You don't want to waste time and money. You don't want to have to invest in 20 markets so that one or two are successful, right? You'd like to invest in 3 or 4 and have 3 or 4 be successful. That would be the goal. So what we're trying to do again is to find these sources of revenue in core, adjacent, and new markets. And there is a logical order in which to do this. So the first one, of course, would be, let's just grow from the core, right? You're already in a bunch of markets. Why not grow the market that you're already in? That's the path of least resistance, right? You don't have to enter a new market. You have everything already in place. So, trying to figure out how to grow in that core would make great sense. The second thing would be to look for what we often call adjacent markets. And we'll get into that in detail here. And of course, then to get into new markets. So again, you're trying to grow from the core. If you can't hit your number, you have to enter some adjacent markets. If that doesn't help you hit your number, you have to get into some new markets. And I think most companies like to avoid going after new markets if they could, because those are the most risky investments. So let's look at this in a natural order. And when we start studying this, there is one big obstacle to success. We're focused on core markets, adjacent markets, and new markets. But one of the obstacles is there isn't agreement in most organizations as to how to best define a market. I find this rather remarkable, but you can ask yourself, how does your company define a market? We've heard things like personas and use cases and geographies, territories, portfolios, demographics, technology around a product, and so on, which means there's really a lot of inconsistency in the way markets are defined. So we've seen this. It's rampant in most organizations. This market definition process is really random. It doesn't take place in many cases. It's just left to chance. People can define the markets whatever way they feel comfortable and whatever way the organization is used to doing it. But of course, there's issues with this, right? We see in the lean startup movement, for example, that there isn't even a market definition step in the process. And what they suggest you do is hypothesize the market, the product, the customer's needs all up front, and then go do your customer discovery work and try to find that product market fit. But you're trying to find product market fit before you even define the market. So it becomes this recursive process that you get stuck in. And this is why in so many situations, there's product iteration, there's pivoting, there's churn, there's failure. It's a very inefficient pathway forward if we can't agree on what a market is. If we can't agree on what a market is, how can we agree on what markets to pursue? How can we agree on what markets we're in? How could we agree on what an adjacent market is and what a new market is? Right? So we have to get our definition in place, and then you'll see how it simplifies the path moving forward in figuring out these 3 distinct paths to growth.